Welcome back to New York City, hanging out on a Wednesday, guys. Time to play with power. And by that, I mean check out Elliot Harrison's Wild Card Week NFL Power Rankings. Earlier in the show, we were talking about Dan Quinn and Ron Rivera. If you had to make a T-shirt for the Falcons head coach, what T-shirt would you make? That sent us down a rabbit hole of old, dumb T-shirts from the T-shirt shop. So this week's Power Rankings is going to be done with the theme of the moronic T-shirt you see in a bar by the Village Idiot. You know them well, I'm sure. Let's start with the Take Me Drunk, I'm Home division. The Cleveland Browns down in the 32 spot. The Buccaneers climbing up to 25. Everyone, I hope you have a very productive offseason. Go get it. Go get some good players. Next, this is a real T-shirt. The You Looked Better on Instagram division. That's an actual thing you can purchase. It's just mean, I think. The Cincinnati Bengals go up for it.
Double entendre.
Come on. What, you wearing that shirt in a bar? Next, also a real shirt. You can buy this. It says Idaho, Idaho. That is a real T-shirt you can buy. That is out there. I've seen it, and I've seen it online. But this is fascinating, guys. The Chargers, the Bills, and the 49ers. Look at that right there for a second. The Titans are a playoff team, and they are behind the Niners and the Bills, and the Chargers are at 11. Pretty interesting. And then in the last slate, of course, the classic, the all-timer, Drink Like a Champion today in that South Bend font. Of course, we've seen that all over. And the New England Patriots are sitting in that one spot with the Kansas City Chiefs climbing up 3 to number 6. So now that brings us over to the city of Culver in the state of California. Joining us to discuss those recently released Wild Card Week Power Rankings, it is Elliot Harrison. Good morning, Elliot. How are you, man?
What's going on, Kyle? It's good to see you guys. It's bright and early here. You can see all my fans are in the background.
Yes, I can see. Yes, the masses came out for Power Rankings.
A lot of them.
Elliot,
all 2 of them.
I'm sure they're very enthralled to know there's no change in your top 5 this week. That includes the Saints at number 5 after they played a meaningful game against the Bucs with all their starters in and lost. Why did New Orleans slide down those rankings?
Yeah, I realize that. It was not really their best game. But, you know, I think we also have to remind ourselves about division road games, especially at the end of the year. I think things like this can happen. I mean, at the end of the day, I do think the Saints are one of the most complete teams in the league, whether it's because of the running game, whether it's because of the improvement in Dennis Allen's defense. Obviously, Drew Brees being the quarterback in the postseason. I mean, I think they have an advantage there when you look at some of the other quarterbacks that are in the postseason, Kyle. But when I look at the most balanced, complete teams all the way around, I would put the Saints at the very top in that regard. But you mentioned the loss, and I certainly wasn't going to move them up, but that's why I didn't move them down.
Love that. The Chiefs have been keeping you busy all season long, moving them up, moving them down. Those power rankings week in, week out. They're now up 3 spots to number 6 after that Week 17 win over the Broncos on the road with Patty Mahomes under center. It was Patrick Mahomes. It was a lot of second stringers. So why the climb?
Well, I just think the Chiefs have been better than other teams have for almost the last month. So if we look at the Broncos game, you're right, they didn't play their guys. Although I loved, Kareem Hunt's walk-off. There's Kareem Hunt right there, as a matter of fact. 35-yard touchdown, then walks off, gets the rushing title. It's kind of nice. But the Chiefs are rested. They've played well for the better part of a month. It's nice to go into the postseason with a win, even if it is on the strength of your backups. So that's why the Chiefs are up. And if you look at some of the teams, rather, that they passed. I mean, look at the Jacks. I mean, they have major quarterback problems. Cam Newton, we keep making apologies for Cam Newton. One week he's up, the next week he's down. I think Kansas City's just been playing more consistent football. Remember, they beat the Raiders when they had to, the Chargers when they had to, and right now they look good.
All right, let's talk about the Bills. They're the biggest risers of the week. They go up 5 spots to number 12. And it's true they got this big win, but it was against David Fells. We have to keep that in mind. And also, in thanks part to the Bengals and what they did and all this and that explanation, it kind of reminds me of a shirt. It's not the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but thanks for trying, Elliot. So why did the Bills make that big jump on the list?
The thanks for trying, yeah. Well, I don't know how to follow that up, really. I always got sick of the smiley face shirts, actually, the ones that were really big in the 90s there for a while. You know, the Bills, it's tough to know what to make of them. You know, I think they're a team that lives and dies off of turnovers. LaShawn McCoy being banged up certainly is a concern. I think, honestly, Nate, for them, and I had them pretty low. I think they were my second lowest playoff team to only Tennessee, who's really been a model of mediocrity this year. I think for the Bills to win this game, Tyrod Taylor is going to have to play, channel his inner Russell Wilson, if you will, and just take over, use his legs, bounce outside, make throws down the field. Ironically, he played that way in a game against Seattle last year and darn near upset them that way. And so I'd like to see him do that. If he can do that, they have a chance. If he can't, they don't need Blake Bortles to throw the ball more than 25 times. They can run the ball, play defense, make their kicks, and they're fine.
All right, Elliot, we've been talking a lot about the Titans today on the show. They beat a playoff team in a must-win game to earn a spot in the postseason, yet they are still ranked number 16, 5 spots below the Chargers, who didn't make the playoffs. So I got to ask you, why can't the Titans crack the top 12, let alone the top 15 on your power rankings list?
Well, number one, Marcus Mariota has not had his best year, Peter. They're supposed to be exotic smash mouth, and that really hasn't worked out for them either. And I don't think their defense is strong enough to mitigate.
Maybe the Steelers, the Chiefs, and the Patriots. I wouldn't want to face any team like the Chargers right now.
Right, they're hot. They're hot. And Phillip Rivers, by the way, balled out with the playoffs on the line. I still think that guy is a little bit underrated, as weird as that is to say, as famous as he is.
Thanks for waking up early with us all season long. Great stuff. There are plenty of times still to cast your vote for the Casual Edge Clutch Performer of the Week.
Thank you.
Over at NFL.com. You're welcome. The results will be revealed Friday on Total Access. Taking a look here at the nominees. You've got Tyler Boyd. If you like context, he's all over it. Matt Ryan ending the season in nice fashion.